So I did a video a few weeks ago about why we're seeing gray hair everywhere. So some of you guys will continue to sit back and watch women all over the world go gray, especially on social media, and you will never take the plunge to stop coloring your hair. It's your girl Sharon, and in this video we're going to be talking about 5 signs as to why your gray hair journey is over and you'll probably never embrace it. So let's get into this video. So the first reason is that you keep coloring. So you get a little new growth and potentially you see a little gray grow in, and you're trying to figure out if that little peak that's showing through, if you really like it or not. But then you have this thing where you say, no, you're not ready. So you got an event to go to and you looking at your new growth, especially around the hairline and in the front of your head, and you're 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or 6 weeks out, and you like, nah, I'm gonna do it after this event. Or before you go to the event, you color it, and then you're all good for another 4, 5, 6 weeks. And then something else comes up and you're like, nah, I'm gonna just color it again, and I'll wait till after my birthday to stop coloring it. And when you keep coloring it, you'll never see the true beauty of your gray hair because you don't let it grow out enough so that you can actually see what it's gonna look like. Because when you look at Susie's hair, when you look at Sally's hair, and you keep saying this statement, if my gray hair grew in like yours, then I would stop coloring. You don't know how it's gonna grow in. You don't know what it's gonna look like until you let it grow out enough. So is that your sign that you will never stop coloring your hair and that your gray hair journey is over? Let us know down in the comment section below. So that leads us into number 2, why you will never embrace the gray hair journey is because of your negative mindset. You think like everybody else thinks who continues to color their hair. And like I mentioned in the first sign, you always look at everybody else's. I always reference gray hair patterns to like snowflake. Every snowflake is different. So when your hair grows in, you'll never know what it looks like until you grow it out. And so that negative mindset just keeps talking to you. You're not gonna look good with gray hair. You'll never stop coloring your hair. You don't wanna look old with gray hair. Those were probably most of the things that I was thinking in my negative mindset before I actually embraced my gray hair. And now I really truly feel like I should have embraced it earlier, but it wasn't time. Just like a lot of my clients, until you just have a more positive mindset about what you potentially may look like with your gray hair, that is another big sign that you're gonna continue to color and continue to have that mindset of all the thinking that goes on in your little brain about what you're gonna look like with gray hair. And until you shift that mindset, you're gonna continue to have those negative ideas about what you would look like with the gray hair. And you'll always want yours to look like everyone else's instead of trying to potentially embrace your own. So that leads us into the third sign as to the reason your gray hair journey is over and why you will never probably embrace it. Because you keep it covered up with wigs, hats, scarves. And one tip, if you are wearing protective styles or wigs or weaves, maybe try some textured looks like rod sets or 2-strand twists. That way the hair is more textured, so your gray hair is not as exposed, because when it's straighter, then it's like that gray hair and it's going right into that darker hair. But if you have your texture styles that you're wearing, like your rod sets, your twist sets, and your 2-strand twists, when the hair is more textured, it kind of gives an illusion that you can't see a lot of the new growth and a lot of the gray hair that you are growing out. So consider working and trying those kind of styles to help you not miss this boat of embracing your gray hair. So that leads us into the 4th sign that your gray hair journey is over and while you'll probably never embrace it. And that is, you won't avoid the naysayers. All the people that's talking in your ear when they see a little bit of new growth. Girl, it's time to color your hair. You don't look good with that gray hair. You're gonna look old with that gray hair. When the last time you colored your hair? Why you're not coloring your hair? Why you keep coloring your hair so dark? Why won't you stop coloring your hair? When are you gonna stop coloring your hair? You think it might make you look old? Why don't you just cut it all off and start from scratch? Why don't you just cut it all off to your gray? Don't cut all of that color out of your hair. You're gonna look too old. Why are you wearing those bright colors to cover up your hair? Why are you wearing that bright rinse to color up your hair? You haven't had your hair colored in a while. When the next time you go into the hairstylist to get your hair colored? All those are constantly in your ear, from your boyfriend, your girlfriend, to your significant other, to your kids, to the world. All of those people are talking and chatting. And when they're not talking and chatting, your mind is talking and chatting, remembering all the naysayers and what they've said about you finally embracing your gray hair. So if you're constantly listening to those people, your gray hair journey is over and you'll probably never embrace it. I have those naysayers too. I feel you deep down inside. That's one of the main reasons why I make these videos. For people just like you, who I feel like are just on the brink of stop coloring your hair. Sis, I'm not telling you to do it now. I'm just telling you to do it at your own time. So you have to know exactly when to stop listening to those naysayers, because if you don't, you'll never embrace your gray hair. And the fifth sign, which is probably the most important, is you don't have the confidence in wearing your gray hair. You see a little bit peek out, you grow a little bit out, and then you just still think that the gray hair, the silver hair on your skin tone is gonna make you look old. And that's what will give you the lack of confidence as to why you'll never embrace it. So if you keep coloring it and continue to have a negative mindset, or you keep it covered up by wigs, hats, weaves, and protective styles, and you never avoid the naysayers, and you don't have confidence in finally embracing your gray hair journey is over. And these are the reasons why you'll never embrace it. But I have confidence in you, sis. You're gonna shift your mindset, and you're gonna either get a buzz cut where you cut it all off, or you're gonna take the slower route where you just let the gray hair grow, especially if you have long hair and you don't want to cut your hair. And if you need help, make sure that you join our Grown Girls Go Gray Facebook group. If you haven't embraced your gray hair, watch this video of how not to look old with the gray hair. Until the next time, guys, take care. Peace.